February release 2027. What does this tell us? They are making too many figures. They need to slow down. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven with your weekly figure news fix. This time around 24th to 29th of November 2025. So the month of November is gone. One more month and it will be a new year. And I had achieved nothing significant this year. What a sad thing. Okay, so for this week, the number of new genuine figures on pre-order are actually not that many, a moderate amount. Just that we had a lot of stuff on the third-party section later on, and this is a very good week for both genuine and third-party stuff. With genuine figures, every single game title that are popular today are trying to fight for your attention. Azur has a banger of an L-size figure for over 40k, and then we have Musume coming up with 3 figures, including one single 1x4 scale, and then Nikke has more from Furyu, and also Hobby Sakura and Good Smile. Damn. Nobody can catch a break. And most importantly, later on in the third-party section, this week they had amazing Blue Archive figures, which went viral when I posted them on my Facebook page, Wuthering Waves as well. And most importantly, we are starting to see the return of 18 plus edgy figures from third parties. Yeah, not sure how they are doing it, but I would imagine that they are no longer based in China. So that is an interesting trend. Those figures are coming back. Our first stop, Hobby Link Japan, which is this channel's affiliate partner. If you're planning to purchase or pre-order literally anything, not just anime figures, please do make use of my affiliate links down in the description below, or sometimes you can click on a link that appears on the top right corner of this video. That is how to support this channel. And I've selected the scale figures I want to cover as usual, starting off with the largest scale. Freeing is back with their life-sized 1x1 scale bust figure. This is their second or their third one? The second one, right? And personally, I'm not sure how well these are selling. So this is a 1x1 scale Bremerton from Azur, 330,000 Japanese yen, June release 2026. My opinion on something like this, I would rather you spend it on a 1x4 scale premium resin statue over a life-sized bust figure like this. That is my personal opinion, of course. And this is especially true when I consider the fact that it is freeing, which is making this stuff over here. Which means their stuff are usually, detail levels are on the average side, maybe even lower than average. But they are surely capitalizing on the popularity of Azur. They overproduced their 1x4 scale Bunny Girl Azur figures. And I would imagine that this Bremerton over here and their previous release as well, this 1x1 scale bust figure, is just an easy cash grab for them, right? And I've seen owners of the previous bust figures selling theirs already on Reddit and a few other places. So I don't feel like this is a good purchase unless there is one exception. I don't know if this feature is available in this bust figure. You can consider it if the bust, specifically the bust, is made of soft, squishy silicone material and you can massage them every day as a way of reducing stress in case you're too tired out, exhausted from work. Then yes, maybe. But I don't think they are using soft material for her chest. Yeah. Moving on to the next one, now we are entering 1x4 scale territory. So the first one here, Prime 1 Studio Ultimate Premium Masterline Guilty Gear Strife by Kane. Almost 200,000 yen, June release. This is what I meant by I would rather you spend on a 1x4 scale resin statue. This is a perfect example. 200k, and what about that 130,000 yen earlier? Yeah, spare that for shipping and maybe taxes, right? So I would rather you purchase something like this, and I've covered this before in OSGK a few weeks back where they were collecting early bird pre-orders without an official price yet. Now we know it is 200,000 yen. So the face on this figure is, there is nothing that I could fault this figure. When I looked through all the pictures earlier, a few days ago, And the only thing that would be stopping you from purchasing or pre-ordering this thing would be, yes, the price, and also the fact that you need to pay the full amount up front, right? This is Guilty Gear, where I'm not interested in collecting, but if they came up with a Nikke figure like this, then yes, they are going to have my attention quite a bit. Starexva has done it before. Was it Starexva? The one before skill, at least from Nikke, but yeah, I did not purchase it because I'm still relatively good at controlling my impulsive tendencies in buying stuff. Okay, next up here, I'm not sure what scale is this, but we are just going through it quickly over here. Sonic the Hedgehog Ultimate Lifeform Shadow the Hedgehog statue by First 4 Figures, licensed resin statue brand, 86,000 yen. And please, Hobby Link Japan, I'm begging you guys to at least mention the dimensions, the height of the figure in the description below. Do it for every figure, but you guys did not, even today, right? So here they have a picture for reference on what the rough size is like, and Sonic isn't exactly as tall as a human being, so I'm not sure what scale it is. I think this is non-scale. The same thing can be said for this next one here, basically a blonde version of Sonic, that's what I call it. Same price, releasing in March, and that would be 2027, yeah. Don't select this color. The earlier one, the black one, is a lot nicer. Next up, 1x4 scale, the Idolmaster Gakuen Ume Hanami Bunny version, 36k, releasing in May. Okay, at least they put in some effort with this one, not the plain bunny suit. This is like idol outfit, the kind they wear and perform on stage, but with bunny ears. So this is not too bad of a purchase if you want it. Or you can always wait for after release and pray that it bins, right? So I don't really have much of a comment for this one. I think it is a good purchase for Idolmaster fans. The problem is whether to pre-order it early or to grab it after release. Because nowadays, yeah, this brand freeing, I would be very careful with choosing what to pre-order, right? So the one on the left is not yet on pre-order, presumably next week. Next up, 1x4 scale Uma Musume Tokai Teiyo by Freeing, 36k, and it is not a bunny girl, June release next year. So earlier, Aima's Gakuen, I'm not sure whether you should pre-order it. Uma Musume, yes, you totally should. Uma Musume stuff, they have been holding on their value, or in many cases, the prices are going up after release. So yes, this is an exception for freeing stuff. Pre-order it if you want it. Many Good Smile, Kotobukiya, even Fat Company, their Uma Musume stuff are going up in value. In my country, Uma Musume is pretty popular actually, though how many hardcore figure collectors are there for Uma Musume, I'm not too sure. For me, I'm not touching Uma Musume. I don't want to jump into another hole that I couldn't climb out of. There is a probability where I will buy 1 or 2 scale figures of Uma Musume characters that I really like, because it is like a symbol of a very successful game franchise in modern Japanese game and anime. So it is something symbolic, right? I want a figure of Razorlin start from Ryza one day. I want Uma Musume, 1 or 2 figures, something symbolic in my collection, where these things used to be popular in this hobby. Right, moving on to the next one here. One more figure from Freeing that you should not pre-order early. Dead Alive 5 Origami Tobiichi Bunny version, 30,000 yen, May release. You know what? With this character, a couple of her figures, the very best ones, are made by brands that do not have good reputation. They came out long ago, very hard to find today, and not cheap. And one of the brands that made a very nice figure of her was Griffin Enterprises, already went bankrupt. Very bad reputation in the past. In fact, they were like a punching bag for all of us figure collectors during the pre-pandemic era. They went bankrupt in around year 19, right? So before the pandemic, this brand, Griffin Enterprise, was our punching bag. By today, yeah, things have changed. Be Full Inside Force Japan is our new punching bag. Moving up next, we are now entering 1x6 scale territory. So the first one here, original character, 1/6 Bunny Girl Wu Wu Tian. Regular edition by Enso Toys, a Chinese figure brand. almost 17,000 yen, releasing in July 2026. So the very fact that they mentioned regular edition is implying that a deluxe edition will exist later on, just that not yet available on pre-order, not on HLJ, not on AmiAmi or anywhere else at the time of recording this video. Maybe there will be a cast-offable version coming in a week or two. So if you are interested in this one, but you are disappointed that this version is not cast-offable, I would suggest waiting for another week or two. And if it is 18 plus, yep, only AmiAmi and a few other websites will carry it, not HLJ. Character design wise, I like this one a lot, even though it is just another average reverse bunny figure. I think I like her face. Yeah, my kind of girl in a way. So I would love to have it, but I can't review it on YouTube. Moving on to the next one, Kotobukiya 1/6 scale White Sand Annette Summer Vacation from Fantasy Star Online 2, 27k June release. Kotobukiya does not often make expensive scale figures, but when they do, they are often good stuff. Or it is because of, licensing cost. So they have paid quite a bit of that for this figure, I suppose. I believe Amakuni has a very similar figure, isn't it? Between Koto and Amakuni, I prefer Amakuni's paintwork way more. Like, it is not even a comparison. Amakuni's paintwork is more well refined, and sometimes there is a certain finish to it, right? The surface coating, it just feels different from Kotobukiya stuff. It feels expensive. But if you are a big fan of this game, maybe get both, There are not many figures from Fantasy Star Online. Kotobukiya is not a bad buy by all means, but if I had to choose between the two, yes, I would take Amakuni first. Not to mention that is indirectly a Hobby Japan exclusive. Not the same thing as HOJ. Alright, moving on to the next one here. This is a quick mention. So, was it 2 weeks ago or last week? 2 weeks ago, where any game dropped this bomb of an Owari. And there was this frustration where you can choose only either one. The one with bare leg or the ones with open leg, two separate figures. You can't get a set where both sets of legs are included with the figure on HLJ. You need to do that on AmiAmi, right? Very expensive over there. Not to mention, there is also the skull base you need to purchase separately. And now, almost 2 weeks later, HLJ is finally offering this 3-leg set over here. For those of you who want to lick her legs, you need extra legs. 43,000 yen. But why so late? This is the one thing I don't get about HLJ. It is like, sometimes they put certain popular figures very late on pre-order, and by then everyone have pre-ordered their own copies on other websites. So they have lost quite a number of sales over there. I'm not sure what is up with their business decisions sometimes, but there is also a possibility where AmiAmi had exclusivity first for this set over here for maybe the first 2 weeks, and then after the time has passed, other websites can offer it. Maybe that is also the case, right? I'm just speculating, of course. Moving on to the next one. This is the main highlight this week, I suppose. She came out of nowhere, coming from Apex Toys 1/7 scale, Al size from Azur, 42,000 yen, big ouch. February release 2027. Yes, 2027. So now we have Good Smile Company and Apex Toys, the first two companies that I've seen recently to put figures in February 2027. What does this tell us? They are making too many figures. They need to slow down. But I don't think they will listen to us, right? Those of us who wait for over a year just for a figure. So this is a must-have for Azur fans, but you need to budget a lot of space to display her. Now, admittedly, I want it very badly out of curiosity, and I would not mind keeping this figure after purchasing it. As you guys know, sometimes I buy a figure, I review it, I sell it, right? But the very best ones, I keep them. And despite saying so, I sold my New Jersey wedding version from Apex Toys, which was also roughly 40,000 yen, Japanese price, last year. My video where I made my H face, I got married. Yep, that figure haul video last year, that new jersey, I sold it. Of course, space issue is a concern, but then again, that was only the secondary reason. The main reason was that I don't have that big of an attachment to Azur characters. So the same thing can be said for this L size. I'm very interested. I don't see myself pre-ordering it, but who knows, I might purchase it and review it after release. After all this is coming in year 27, I will worry about that later on. And by then, whether I sell or keep it, I can't decide now. It is way too early. But for those of you, the biggest fans of Azur, yes, go for it. Apex Toys is excellent nowadays. This is perhaps their most expensive scale figure to date. Before this, it was New Jersey, 40k. This is the most expensive one so far. Moving on to the next one. Alright, Fat Company has Uma Musume Cal Stone Light O, 24,000 yen plus, releasing in October next year. Once again, for Uma Musume fans, smash that pre-order button if you want it. Right? How many Fat Company Uma Musume figures have re-released so far? Not many, I think. There were select few that got a re-release, yes, and the first release back then was an AmiAmi exclusive, but still, if you want to save yourself a headache, yes, pre-order it. This looks very good. Not a fan of the game, but I still like it a lot, yeah. Next, Uma Musume figure, we have Maruzensky's signature racewear version by Clanel, 25k, releasing in August next year. Clanel is by no means a bad figure company. In fact, their stuff are decent, but this one just pales in comparison to the Fat Company one earlier, which is interesting because I rarely have nice things to say about Fat Company, but whenever it comes to Uma Musume, they tend to outshine the others in some way. Once again, Uma Musume fans, if you want it, pre-order it, right? I heard that the real racehorse, what was the name again? What was the name again? Man, someone mentioned it in my Discord server that this racehorse has just died recently. Gentildona, was it? I hope I got the name right. Gentildona has just died recently. So are there any figure companies who are willing to make a figure of Gentildona lying inside a casket? That would be nice. Next up, Good Smile Company, Danganronpa, Junko Enoshima, 15th anniversary version, 27k, February 2027 release. Wow, this is incredible. So this came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting a Danganronpa premium scale figure anytime soon, but of course, I'm not keeping an eye on anniversaries of popular games, right? So maybe this is not too surprising to Danganronpa fans. And the last time we got an Enoshima Junko figure, scale figure I mean, was that 10 years ago. It became very rare and expensive, and I think it was by one of the mid-tier figure brands. Was it Fat Company? Was it Fat or someone else? I can't remember anymore. That came out long ago, became very rare and expensive. And then in recent year or two, I think that there was a pop-up parade, right? But now we finally get an excellent looking figure of her, and you don't need to keep on hunting the older version, which is very expensive now, because this one is so much better in every way. Detail level, paint work, and more stuff on the base, more clutter on the base, I would call it. It has everything you would want to see in an epic Danganronpa figure. So this is a main highlight this week, just like that Azur L-size figure earlier. Like I said in my intro part of today's Figure News Fix video, right? Every game franchise wants your attention this week. And we have more to go. Moving on to the next one, Hatsune Miku 100th Adventure version by Good Smile, 27k, January 2027 release. This looks like Miku stole an outfit from someone from Atelier Ryza. Not Atelier Ryza necessarily, but the Atelier franchise in general. Like the outfit she's wearing gives off that vibe. The alchemist outfit of some kind, yes. So how many Miku figures do you need? I do have a friend his answer would be yes. He buys everything Miku. Yeah, his collection is insane. Occasionally, whenever there are anime events, he would actually organize his own exhibit of everything Miko, right? The dedication is something else. Yeah. This one, I really don't know how to advise on this one. Should you pre-order? Should you wait until after release, right? Because nowadays a lot of figures bin. That's the thing. Sometimes you have to think twice, think twice before pre-ordering something. And Mikos can be unpredictable because there are those like the Symphony version which went up in value despite the flaws I found in that figure in my review. And there are also those that binned after release, so it is very unpredictable for Miko. I wish that I have a better answer if you ask me pre-order today or wait until after release. Next up over here, Blue Archive Mari Pop Idol version by Good Smile, 17k only. November release 2026. So for Blue Archive fans, give this one a serious look. Will she bin? I mean, yeah, I keep asking will she bin nowadays, right, for anime figures? Especially after I published that Black Friday video a few days ago, and then we all got to see how big of a carnage it was when it comes to seasonal anime characters and original characters. But you look at the price point, right, 17,000 yen. Even if this bins to maybe 10 or 12,000 yen, even if, right, this is an if, it does not feel that painful because in the end, even if this gets a 30% discount, you're saving like 5,000 yen, right? So what I'm trying to say is that the loss is not that big in case this figure bins, which I think is quite unlikely. A small discount maybe, right? 2,000, 3,000 yen off maybe, but bin a bit unlikely. So the thing with bargain binning is that when you see a very expensive figure, 30, 40,000 yen gets discounted by 50%, that is where it really hurts because you overpaid by 15, 20,000 yen sometimes. But for a lower cost scale figure like this, even if it bins, it does not feel as painful, if that makes any sense. So if you want to pre-order it early, I would say the risk is not as high. Moving on to the next one, the same thing can be said for this Nikke figure, and boy, I do want it really badly. I would take this red hood over the one by Flare, right? The one that cost 38,000 yen, even though she comes with a big ass cannon, I know. I love female characters with big weapons, but for the case of Flare, that was way too overpriced. I would pay 50k for the Red Hood 1x4 scale with the same cannon by Hobby Sakura. And then for a simpler 1x7 scale figure, I would take this because she is under 18,000 yen. And given that this is Good Smile Company, high chances are she is going to turn out very nice, right? So this is coming out in December 2026. Highly recommended if you want this figure. This is not exactly the most premium, the most fancy figure this week, but I would consider it to be a main highlight as well. Together with the next Nikke figure over here, it is not often that full reel becomes a main highlight for any figure pre-order week, but this time they are. 1x7 scale Mihara Pain Eater from Nikke again, 27,000 yen, October 2026 release, and boy, that base is taking up so much space, but it looks like acrylic base to me. Looks like, I'm not too sure. I think it is the same kind Mimeyoi uses for many of their 1x4 scales. Looks premium, looks expensive, but very easy to scratch by accident. So 27,000 yen is on the expensive side for 1x7, but there is a lot of stuff going on with this figure. That chair over there, and then a long pretty dress, and yeah, I think 27k is reasonable for something like this. Just that Full Rio's Nikke figure has not done well in the aftermarket, right? They only have two figures, I believe, the ones that are already released, Emma and Guillotine. Emma has been discounted even in a recent Black Friday. She got like 30%, 40% off. And over in China, in Taobao, yeah, her price has been consistently discounted by 30% for the past 6 months or longer. Emma's not doing well, but that might be because Emma is less popular. For Guillotine, also discounted in Taobao, but not as aggressively as Emma. For Mihara, I'm not sure how to predict because it is not like I know the rankings of Nikke characters, which is more popular than which, and what is the ranking Mihara, I have no idea. But one thing to note is that so far, no other brands have bothered making figures of Mihara. Instead, they spam characters like Red Hood or Cinderella. So that is kind of like a sign where this is one of the less popular characters, right? So if you tell me you want to wait until after release and hope for a discount, I think that would be a good idea, even though this looks amazing. Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next one here, another banger from Furio. Even though this is a simple figure with Aisaka Taiga from Toradora, 18,000 yen, August release next year. I'm a fan of the anime. Like, I've been watching anime for, since the late 2000s. 17, 18 years of anime. So, many of these older anime, I had watched them. It is not I remember anything because it was so long ago. And Aisaka Taiga is a character so special that even until today, there are a lot of hardcore fans who will buy figures of her, right? Free Ink's 1/4 scale of her sold very well after all, especially the Tiger version. This one, it is like, how do I put it? Looks very casual, very simple, yet relatable. A perfect slice of life anime figure. And Aisaka Taiga is the kind of character where you are less likely to see a big bargain bin. Small discount maybe, but not a big bargain bin. So this is something you may want to consider pre-ordering. Okay, moving on to the next one. Elena again from Wandering Witch. How many figures of her do we need? By Furio, 21k, releasing in August. Unless you are a hardcore fan of her, I would say skip this one. There are so many incredible price figures of her already. I think if you want a figure or two of Elena, just grab the, what do you call that? Taito's best price figure line. AMP Plus, right? Yes, there are AMP Plus figures of Elena. I think there was one in her witch outfit sitting on a broomstick. That is an AMP Plus figure, excellent figure. Go and get that one. Yeah, this is just a made outfit figure, and there are so many made outfit figures out there by other brands from other anime or even original characters. If I were to buy a made outfit figure together, it better be Kakudate Karin with that huge cannon, the one from Max Factory, or it is something customable. Yeah, I'm not buying an ordinary made outfit figure from a seasonal anime anymore. Nope. Okay, moving on to the next one here, Ana Yanami from Makein. Okay, I keep pronouncing it wrong, but whatever. Losing Heroines. June released by Kotobukiya, 18,000 yen. Have I covered this before? No, I don't think so. She went on pre-order this week, right? And yes, there is a limited version. Kotobukiya online shop exclusive once again, where there is a second faceplate and an extra arm where she's holding a chikumi, as they call it. Must be some kind of snack, right? Yep, Koto online exclusive. So I would suggest trying to look for that version if possible. And Koto loves doing this, right? Despite my criticism, because the strategy works so well for them. Yeah. So I can't suggest getting this figure over here on HLJ or even AmiAmi. Try to get the Koto exclusive if you can. Okay, moving on to the next one here from Rent a Girlfriend again. Chizuru Mizuhara from Enso Toys. 20k September release. This is one of those few Chizuru figures that I really like when I saw it, mostly because of the color. There are other figures of her wearing very similar outfit to this one, but the outer coat she was wearing was like bright red color, Ferrari red, the kind of very strong red color. This one, they toned down the colors. It is like a very pleasant looking shade of pink color, and it is matching her hair's color so well, right? The color goes from brown to pink. The color scheme of this figure is so pleasant to look at for some reason. Color science, I suppose. So this is a figure that I can highly recommend. And there are people commenting about how her oppa is big. Is her bust really so big? Well, you can point that to the original artwork this figure is based off, where the oppa appears to be quite big in that artwork. After all, they are just trying to be loyal to the original artwork, where the artist behind it might be very popular. So if you go and alter anything compared to the original artwork, then the fans of the artist might be upset, and the artist, him or herself, will not be happy about it as well. Yeah. And speaking of Chizuru Mizuhara, I heard that the author of Rent a Girlfriend self-insert himself into the manga. new haircut, and now it looks like him. So maybe you will have a good ending for the manga, right? Where Chizuru will finally date this sad and lonely boy who has been jerking off since episode 1. Right, moving up next, Nikke Cinderella 1/10 scale by Hobby Sakura, low budget figure, 8,000 yen, August release. So this one is only relevant to people who collect low budget figures and price figures. Like, they would never buy very expensive stuff because they can't afford it, but yet they want to increase the size of their collection as quickly as possible. Yeah, the quantity over quality kinds of people. For everyone else, there are so many scales of her. You are spoiled for choice, man. Good Smile and Max Factory keeps coming up with new versions of her, and then there is a 1/4 scale by the same company. So this one has limited appeal in my opinion. Yeah. And the last figure on HLJ this week, Pop-Up Braid Shua Chow, which is like an even lower budget tier than the normal Pop-Up Braid, I think. Fail and Sui. Oh yes, the campfire cooking anime. Trash anime. Don't bother wasting your time, right? I actually previewed episode 1 a bit, and then no. I never touch it again. So no comment from me when it comes to this figure. Just a figure of a dog or a wolf, whatever. Now we move on to AmiAmi for more figures that are not yet available on HLJ at the time of recording, or maybe they are exclusives, or maybe they are 18+. So I need a favor from you guys. If you're enjoying this video so far, please to give this video a like and subscribe to this channel for more anime figure content every week. Alright, so now the first one here, this is by Aniplex, which means Aniplex exclusive, and you won't find it on HLJ and a few other websites, right? So we have Anna Yanami again from Too Many Losing Heroines, 1/7, 20k, releasing in November 2026. I like this version a lot more compared to the Kotobukiya version earlier because it is like a mini diorama of some kind, right? This object over here where you pull the pipe out of, I'm not even sure what it is even called in English. Yeah. It is just a swimsuit figure, but the water splash or water spray effects over here, it looks quite nice in these pictures at least, but what it is like in the final figure, I'm not too sure. And there should be a replaceable part for her right arm, if I'm not mistaken. Let me have a look. Yep. Because she is always eating, right? So she has to be holding something else other than the pipe. And you have no idea how badly I want to replace that object in her right hand with a huge pink color toy. I'm sure you know what I mean. That would be hilarious. So yeah, I'm liking this one a bit more than the Koto version. Even though the Koto, right, she has this second faceplate, a smart face. That is also quite lovely. So tough choice, man. Both are quite good actually. Moving up next, coming from Spiritiel. Okay, I'm not sure if this is an exclusive. It might be because it is not very often that AmiAmi would add the brand name in the title of the product over here. Yep, Spiritiel in brackets. So it could be an online exclusive of some kind. I'm not too sure. So we have Bridget again from Guilty Gear. Almost 30,000 yen, August 2026 release. And this Bridget is very different from every other Bridget figures we've seen from other brands, be it Kyuskyu or Kotobukiya or who else again. There are so many skills of him or her or him. Anyways, 30k for this is way too expensive, right? I mean, okay, it is expensive but not into the overpriced territory yet, I suppose. Technically, you're getting a diorama base and a huge metal rod that does not seem to be going up all the way into his ass. Hopefully it is not. I feel like this should be something that costs between 24 to 27,000 yen. So it is a tad bit too expensive, right? Very different from other Bridget figures, probably because of a different art style. Like, yeah, every artist have their own style. For this brand Spiritiel, normally this is a brand that I can recommend without any hesitation. But at the same time, this year, specifically this year, they have screwed up twice, right? And I did not make a video on those two screw ups because I wasn't aware it happens until way later, like a few months later. So there is no point bringing it up again until maybe when I make Worst Figures of the Year award at the end of December. Yep, that video we will bring up this topic again. So Spiritiel had two major QC debacles earlier this year. I won't mention which figure yet. Maybe you know, maybe you don't, but I won't mention it yet. I'm keeping that for a future video. So now tell me, can I recommend this brand? I'm not sure. Up until last year, I would say yes, but this year, right now, I'm not sure. That's the thing. But all you need to know is that they had major screw-ups this year. So do factor that in mind before you hit the pre-order button. Okay, moving on to the next one here. So AmiAmi has placed a bunch of figures from Rebos on pre-order, releasing around February next year, which is like 3 months away. I'm not sure why. This must be one of those few occasions where there is a small batch of re-release by a figure brand, right? Some brands, they actually do that, Kadokawa as well. So they put this on pre-order on a Saturday, which means HLJ has not listed it yet, and I'm not sure if HLJ will list it either because there could be a limited period exclusivity of some kind that only AmiAmi gets. So I won't go into detail with this because they were already released in the past, right? Arknights Weedy, this is under their Rise Up series, right? I reviewed one figure from this line and it is really good, 6,000 yen only. Next up here, I've never seen this one before. I'm not sure if this is new, but I believe this should be a re-release. Yep, it is February 2026 release. This is like a fixed pose, a scale figure of an android, but this is so adorable. And then we have, oh, this one is amazing. If you can get this figure, like next year when she comes out, and you love the character design, please to buy one, right? This figure over here, she does not even have a name, Black and White WKN. I have always wanted this figure. For some reason, it is so unique. It is like a mix of science fiction and steampunk. I love it, but yeah, no money for too many figures. Hopefully, I get to purchase one someday. Next up over here, yep, this Desert series figures, re-release again, 15k. February, and then here we have Tower of Fantasy Nemesis Venus version. This is also highly recommended for those of you who missed out on her in the past. If you're looking at her today and you want one, yes, pre-order it. This one is coming out in February as well, and I have personally seen this figure on display in a local anime figure convention. She looks amazing. Not that I would expect any less because Rebos is a very respectable Chinese brand. Next up here, Rebos again. Yep, Lulu from Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, 23,500 yen, releasing in February as well. She's always carrying those melons on her chest. If you don't like this one, then there is another one by Good Smile Arts of Shanghai, I think. Yeah. Okay, next up, Rebos again, Tales of Destiny, Leon Magnus. Oh, one of you who comments my videos, Magnus Leon, is it based off this dude, your name, or just came up with it out of nowhere? I have a feeling it is based off this character. Alright, 23,700 yen, releasing in February 2026. Not touching this one. And then the next one here, Ensemble Stars. Oh yeah, this is an... I saw the anime adaptation a bit at least. Yeah, for Fujoshi women, right? Am I right? Like a lot of pretty boys. It is basically a male version of Love Live or any idol anime, I think. Yeah. And also based off a game, Rei Sakuma Entrancing Myth version, 21,000 yen, releasing in February. And okay, finally something else. So we need to talk about this Barney Suit Planning Sophia F showing figure over here, Ninja version by Magi Arts. I want it so badly, guys. I want this figure so much because I love details and this figure is giving me what I want. Just that no matter how many times I look at Sophia F showing, I just couldn't overlook the fact that she has a pair of torpedoes on her chest. It is like a pair of nukes or guided missiles just ready to fire. Like the shape of an opie and how they appear to have no weight at all. It is like floating upwards, in zero gravity. I know we shouldn't question anime logic, or in this case, the artist logic behind this artwork and figure over here, but while everyone loves big mommy milkers, sometimes I get bothered by it when the shape is a bit unrealistic. And this one is customable for the top only. You get to expose her opie a separate chest portion you can swap out, right? So this one is very expensive, borderline on overpricing, but number one, she is partially customable, extra parts. And number two, 1/6 scale, not 1/7. So I wouldn't call this overpriced yet, but very expensive. Yeah. And I still want it regardless, you see? Alright. I'm a bit concerned about her ears, and I mean that pair of objects on her head. Yeah, hopefully they do not break during shipping, or even better, they should separate it from the figure, a separate part in the box. That would be for the best. Up next, okay, this figure, I used to cover it on OSGK a lot, but nowadays they show up on AmiAmi as well. This brand, real on real, basically original characters and very realistic looking characters, right? Some people like them. For me, I think case by case basis, but most of the time I don't like them. So this is from Real on Real, Chinese brand, 1/6 scale, Made Eve, original character, 11,500 yen at 1/6, releasing in November next year. So just another made figure, and as I mentioned earlier when I talked about Elena, yep, not touching them. Moving on to the next one here, we are now in age restricted section on AmiAmi, quite many figures this week, and we shall begin with two figures that social justice warriors just love. Okay, yep, the lolly you are looking on screen over here, I couldn't show much because of the pose as well. Customable both top and bottom, but this one is a tad bit too skinny to my liking. Like, I like lolly-ish characters, but there has to be a bit of body shape, and very importantly, child-bearing hips, like very nice hip and legs, the shape over there. This one is like flat all the way, no shape at all, so I'm not liking it that much. Yes, I'm quite picky about my lollies. So back to this one here, Danshi Kinsei no Okigai, 1/6 scale, by pure 25,700 yen, which in my opinion is very expensive because even though this is a 1/6 scale, this is a small character, a short character, so the figure will feel small, but you're paying almost 26k for it, even though they are swappable parts, right? For you to display her Hadaka, but not liking this one that much. Moving on to the next SJW favorite. This one is borderline lolly, borderline. Okay, Koi Shinai Kanojo Sena Himeno 1/6 scale from Eclipse Feather, 24,750 yen. Also very expensive in my opinion, but they know that people will pay for it, right? People who collect ecchi figures from any Japanese brand for the matter, they are used to figure prices in the high 20,000s or even 30,000s. So they just charge you whichever amount they feel appropriate, and you guys would buy it anyway, right? Not to mention their value tend to hold up very well after release. So this one is coming out in October 2026. Eclipse Feather is a Chinese brand, by the way, but I'm not liking this character design as well. Yeah, it is like generic lingerie, kinda missionary pose, and you can undress it. Doesn't feel that unique in a way. Next up over here, oh, this is my favorite ecchi figure this week, and it is not even that ecchi outside of exposed Opie and Nyan Nyan down there. Yeah, the pose is like, how do I call this? Yeah, battle damage version, right? This is anime's definition of battle damage. When you see battle damage, it means a few scratches and torn clothes, and you get to see all of the important parts, but the characters are, yeah, they are still in good health somehow. So we have Tamanin Yukikaze Rinko Akiyama. Wow, very expensive. Almost 32,000 yen. Once again, Tamanin is very popular, and I really wish that I get to buy a figure or two from this game someday. This one is near the top of my favorites. Yep, this one here by Pure, December 2026 release. So this one comes as very highly recommended, right? We had figures of her where her suit are in perfect condition, and here we have a battle damage one. And I believe I've brought up this topic before where I want to see more anime figures with battle damage effect, with injuries even, with scratches and wounds and so on. This is pretty close to that, yeah, and I'm liking what I'm looking at because it makes the figure look even more detailed than usual. Next up here, we have Zetai Junpaku Maho Shoujo Erika Kuramoto and Misa Suzuhara dress version. Doesn't feel very special. Lovely Chinese brand, very premium brand. 58k for a set. You can pre-order them separately, 27k each. But why would you do that, right? If you get one, you need the other. I mean, because they are meant to be a set. And at least the one on the right over there, she stole that dress from St. Louis, didn't she? Yeah, Azur's St. Louis. You see, when I make such comparisons, what does that tell you? It is too generic, it is not special, and I don't want it. Yes, because I've seen the same outfit in a few other figures, right? Which is why I'm not interested. Yeah. Next up over here, Bernstein Fantasy Aurora 1x4 scale by binding, 44k, releasing in May. This is one of those figures where you need to pre-order if you want it. Value is going to hold or even go up after release. And this is for those of you who love your meals. I think the outfit design is outstanding. The colors are vibrant, but not my kind of figure. Next up here, okay, the last one, two different versions of this figure, and it is a bit confusing. So this Comic Anthurium Volume 119 CoverGirl Miyu over here, DX version by Nocturne, 46k, releasing in November 2026. And this picture you are looking on screen right now, this is what Nocturne, what AmiAmi has placed as the main picture. But if you scroll through the picture, there are a few pictures at the back where they are showing two separate figures, right? With extra parts where you can display her squeezing her oppai against the other character. But that other character appears to be not included in this DX set over here, which is to say, you're getting 1.5 figures, not two entire figures, right? You're getting this figure plus additional body parts where you can swap out so that you can display her squeezing herself against the other girl, which is not yet on pre-order this week. I couldn't find the other one. So it is confusing, it is weird. Normally, if you are going to sell something like this, you need to put both figures on pre-order, but I couldn't find a listing on the other character over there. So this is a bit odd, right? But if you are interested in this one, do note that you're not getting both figures, not completely in the box if you pre-order this one. But you still should, because you need to have all of the parts when you get the other girl on pre-order next week maybe. Okay, next up over here, this is the cheaper version, 30,000 yen, where you're getting this figure over here and a few custom parts, I think, but no extra parts for you to display squeezing herself against the other one. Yeah, pretty messy in my opinion. So that is all for the AmiAmi section. Now we move on to Ninin Game for Beautiful Insight stuff. The first one here is by Forts Japan, Save for Work. Dragon Girl Seiryu, 24k at 1x5 scale, releasing in June. And here is a Hadaka version by Insight, same price, same release month. And then the next one here we have, Ecchi Treatment Nurse Ayasaka-san, a bit generic, right? But at least she's Hadaka. Roughly 24,000 yen, I think. 1x6 scale, no, 1x6 scale is 22,000 yen. Releasing in June. And then the next one here, Landmine Psycho Girl Himena, 1x5 scale, 24k, releasing in June. And the last one here, Captive Knight Katrina, 1x6 scale, 22k, releasing in June as well. So that is all for the genuine figures on pre-order this week. But there are more big bombs dropping over on the third-party side of things. Yes, this week's third party is excellent. We have very good game characters getting made into figures, Bro Archive, Wuthering Waves, and so on. We have an amazing looking Apothecary Diaries figure, Mao Mao, and we have a lot of cultured figures. It seems like edgy figures are making a comeback among third parties. I'm not sure how they are doing it. My best guess is that they are not located in China. Their base of operations would be either Taiwan or Hong Kong. Yeah. So moving on to the first section, which would be, Anya's again, chibi figures in general. This one, I love it a lot. This is very unique, right? Coming from Pompon Studio, we have Summer Festival Anya Forger, $94 at 1/6 scale, releasing in June. I mentioned it before, I'm not a fan of collecting festive season-themed anime figures, but this one is so unique. Holding a cotton candy with Bond's face over there. Oh, this is amazing, man. Like, this is so adorable. And speaking of Anya, after delaying for so many months, I have finally watched the Spy Family Code White movie. And I heard that the movie has no relation, no connection to the main timeline in the seasonal anime, right? In the series. But the movie was amazing. I wish that I watched it earlier. It was really good. So if you haven't watched it yet, go and watch it. I wish that I watched it earlier, but I did not have the time. I like this Anya a lot. Moving up to the next one. This one is not as unique in comparison, by Waku Waku Studio. Strawberry Girl Anya Forger. $100 at 1/7 March release. This one, yeah, just her making cake, or rather stepping on cake. Oh, I see. This is pretty smart. They are making a series of figures of Anya so that you are more willing to collect the whole set. Okay. I would rather them make a figure of her friend. Yeah, that Becky, and maybe, yeah, make figures of her friend and display next to her. That would be better, because in the movie she had to attend a cooking class and make something nice, right? So they could make references of that in the Code White movie. Yeah. Or they can reference her trying to not to shit herself. They could make a figure on that as well. No, there are so many face expressions of her in that movie that could be made into a figure. Next up here, this is unexpected, but I like this. This is adorable. Waku Waku Studio again. Ai Haibara from Detective Conan, $100 at 1/7, releasing in June. It is like, I don't like this job at all, but I'm being forced to do it and I'm embarrassed about it. That is the kind of look she's giving off and I'm loving it. Yeah. Okay, next up, I'm trying to speed things up. Okay, now we are entering the 1x1 skill waifu section. For those of you lonely men out there, just like me. We have quite a few here from the same brand. Again, Bezelia. The first one here, Bunny Girl Kikyo. $4,000. Ouch. For Bunny Girl, that is very pricey. That is for the deluxe version, releasing in February, and not much else. No comments from me, right? Next up here, I don't like the face on this one, to be honest. Sister Shui Lian. I mean, Lieutenants are nice, but I don't like her face over here. I have a problem with her face, not my type. This is $3,800, releasing in March. And then we have Little Cake Ching Tang. $4,000. Releasing in March as well. Alright, she's cute, but not much else. And then the next one here, Mute Elf Kalia. Kalia, not Kalia. Kalia, okay. This one is almost $3,900, releasing in March. Are we getting literally everything in the picture, including all of the plushies she is holding or stepping on? That might be why it is so expensive, right? It is not just this doll or statue alone. And then the next one here, oh, this one is cute. I like the face on this one. Gamer Girl Feng Ling, $3,800, February release. Man, the hair is going to be so difficult to take care of, especially when I have to tie it in a very specific manner. And then, alright, we are now finally moving into the original characters section. So, Black Friday sale is going on OSGK, but the pre-orders are like 5 to 10% off only. If you want to see the big discounts, 50% off, they are mostly for the in-stock items, right? So, this is Ambar Lotus Studio. I've never seen this name before. My first time seeing this name. Bullet Hex Magdalena 1x4 skill, $419, releasing in September. That is a 1/4. Wow, this is like gothic nun. It is like I can really appreciate the details on this thing, yet at the same time not really my kind of figure, you know. This is very original. It is not often we come across very original looking characters. This is like a nun in a spy suit. And then, wow. Price is extremely reasonable considering the level of detail you're getting. Moving on to the next one here, Star X Bar Studio. Licensed original character, Hong Yan Huo, 1x4 scale, $519, releasing next December, next year. I'm not even sure what she is lying on. What is this thing? I couldn't tell, man. Very artistic figure, but I'm not sure how do I even put this into words? It is like I don't know what I'm looking at. Is this a witch? Is this a magician, a wizard? And yeah, what is she sitting on? I'm not too sure. But it is a pretty figure for sure. Next up here, Chiyo Studio and MJ Atelier. Mifuyu Yukino, and this is actually licensed. Unfortunately, not customable. $115 only. Wait, is this PVC or resin? Let me have a look at the bottom. This is a PVC figure. That is why the price is so low, which means, yep, the Japanese website will carry her next week maybe. How long does it take before you accidentally scratch that thing with your fingernails? It has to be made of acrylic, I think. And I don't think I've seen anyone making a door and a door frame with transparent glass like this. It is a unique concept, but a bit odd at the same time. Okay. Yes, to ensure long-term preservation and handling, the door frame and door are made of high transparency acrylic. Proper storage, avoid direct sunlight will prevent yellowing. There we go. That is the problem with acrylic. They look amazing when they are in pristine condition, but if you don't take care of it, you scratch it up and then it is exposed to sunlight, they turn yellow very quickly. That is the disadvantage of acrylic. Okay, moving on to the next one here. Now we are in anime characters section. Nico Robin One Piece by 24K Studio. There are a few versions over here. The short hair version is going for $164. You get to have her in green or purple suit. Does she even wear this kind of outfit in the anime? I'm not sure, since I don't watch One Piece. And there is the long hair version for a bit more, $184. Yep, the long hair version looks so much nicer. I like this a lot, but I would take her in purple outfit, I think. No, I'll take her in green because purple means Boa Hancock, right? Her long purple dress. Right, next up over here, we have from Naruto, this is Konoha's Slug Princess Tsunade. Yep, Tsunade. By CWS Studio, $216 for the high edition. That is the base, right? Better base. Low edition is $134, but wow. Okay, that is one ugly base. But let's have a closer look at her face. It looks okay, but okay. It is not okay at all. This is not okay at all. For some reason, her face looks a bit masculine, don't you think? It looks like a man cosplaying as a female character. Probably it is the jawline. Yep, it is a bit too squarish, I think. I'm no Naruto character expert, but something feels wrong. I have a point of reference, I've seen Mega House Tsunade figures before, so I have a rough idea what she looks like. This one does not look right in some way. I think it is the jawline. Okay, moving on to the next one. We have 3 Evangelion figures. The first one, Mari Makinami on a customized motorcycle, $350 at 1/6 scale. Releasing in June. Yep, this studio, SX Studio, they just put a similar figure of AmiAmi Rei with her own bike on pre-order a few weeks ago. It looked really good. I liked it a lot. Now this Makinami Mari, the one they are following up with, looks amazing. Wow. I think wearing, right, this casual outfit but with pink color stockings is a bit off, a bit weird. The stockings should have been black color. I think this is wrong choice. The stocking can be black or even white, but pink is a bit off. I know they are trying to match with the bike, but Not sure why the colors look off over here. Yeah, I think black stocking, you can't go wrong with that. And this is a good figure. This is a good one, right? Just like AmiAmi a few weeks ago. Next up, okay, this one is a Black Friday sale again. Quiet Art Studio, AmiAmi and Asuka in school. $333 for a set. June release. This one is not very unique. It doesn't look that different from a typical PVC figure. So $333 for a set is pretty pricey. Can't say I can recommend this one. Buy something nicer. Next up, this is a teaser pic. We don't even have her face. And you want us to pre-order it for $141 each. Tutu Studio, Asuka and Rei. And only, a teaser pic of their outfit. Nothing much to discuss over here. Next up, Detective Conan Ran Mori in a dress by YYDS Studio. So here we have bare legs version on screen and then black stockings, which looks nicer. Version B, bare legs. Wait. Okay, so version A and version B, the difference is her ahoge. Okay, the only difference is the hair, as you can see over here. What the heck, man? I think this is unnecessary. Yeah. Right, not much comment from me. It does look like her a lot, but you know, classic anime characters, they are not that complicated in character design, so no problems when it comes to replicating it into an anime figure. Next up here, this is apparently from an anime. I've never seen this before. Must be Chinese anime. Sparky Studio and Tencent licensed figure. Swallowed Star Barbota 1x4 scale. 1x4 at $147. Seriously. Wow, okay, December release next year. Let me have a look now. Oh. Why do I feel I'm looking at something from Aquaman? It just feels like that to me. I mean, $147 is a hell of a bargain, man. It has to be PVC, not resin. Let me have a look. Yep, PVC ABS. There we go. This is plenty detailed for $147 and PVC. Once again, freeing. Yes, I'm looking at you guys. Please, 36,000 yen for plain bunny suits, man. And this one is $147, which is way cheaper than the bunny girls and more details in comparison. Moving up next, Mikasa Ackerman again from Attack on Titan by Titan Studio. $191 at 1.6. Big no. This is like low effort figure. What? A sports outfit and you're asking for almost $200 for this. And her face isn't even that good looking. I know she became more manly as the season passed, but still, this is not worth that much. And one more thing would be my concern about leaning, right? In this specific case, one leg connected to the base and this knee ideally will need a support stand. Yeah. Moving up next, this is a beautiful figure of Osaki Nana and Ren Honjo from the manga series Nana. Though there was an anime, right? An OVA by Sugar Studio, $313. There are two figures over here and releasing in September. By the way, he is lifting her left leg, right? Keep your minds clean. He is not doing what you are thinking. I mean, as you can see over here, no funny business going on over there. I know. I mean, when I saw the picture for the first time, I also got misled by it. But this is one beautiful figure. And this is like, how do I put it? He is enjoying that nice pair of legs. I know I would as well. I wish that I can have the girl only and without the dude over there. Yeah. This is one beautiful Nana figure. One of the prettiest I've seen so far. Moving up next, this is so cultured that I couldn't show much, but this is also very creative, I suppose. Coming from Murloc Studio, we have Freeran and Fern from Freeran's Beyond Journey and $349 for two figures, but they are mostly Hadaka, releasing in December. And yeah, it is like, wow, Friwen is sitting on top of Fern and using her opai as a foot stand. Very interesting. Their faces look really good as well, which is why this could potentially be a very good purchase or pre-order if you are into this kind of cultured figures. One of the more unique ones in recent months even. The next cultured figure here is CC Bunny Girl from Code Geass by Beast Studio. So this one is $215 for a figure that is mostly Hadaka, but yeah, we don't get many figures like these nowadays, even though in my opinion, her face is not exactly that good. Like, it looks like CC, but a bit off at the same time. But guess what? Give Beast Studio your approval by pre-ordering it if you are into figures like this. Even though Beast Studio is a bit of a hit and miss, they had good ones, they had bad releases as well in the past. This one, who knows how she will turn out, but seeing the stuff on screen over here could be worth the gamble, I guess. Next up, okay, this is one of my favorite ecchi figures this week, even though it is not as hardcore. Crown Studio Tatsumaki from One Punch Man. $349 for the EX version. And then the basic version is $215, but in order to cast her off with that battle damage effect, yeah, you need to pay $350 for it, which is the unfortunate one, because between the two versions over here, if I get to choose either one, I will take the one on the right, the casted off battle damage version. And I wouldn't bother with the one on the left, but there is no option for that, and it might have been on purpose, you know, because they want you to pay more. Yeah, just business strategy, I suppose. So this Tatsumaki, her face looks great, like very accurate. It looks like genuine figures. I hope that they get it right in the final product as well. Moving up next, from BB Girl Studio, we have Power from Chainsaw Man. So the standard version, the one you're seeing on screen, is $189, and then there is a cultured version, fully Hadaka, same pose but no clothes on, $189 as well. If you get both, $297. Yeah, so another cultured figure in disguise, very nice. And the face looks great as well. I won't scroll too much, I just want a closer look of her face. I think this looks pretty good. Only time will tell whether she turns out exactly as promised over here. And I'm seeing quite heavy shading on the hair as well. You look at the sculpt, right, of the hair, it's very detailed. Yeah, so this is nice sculpting. Okay, moving on to the next one here from Chainsaw Man, Reze, picture frame from We Are a Design Studio, $271, releasing in September. So the face on this Reze is very nice as well, just that everything else on this figure is just plain undergarment, not much to see. But that excellent face alone could be enough for some people to pre-order it, right? And then you display it like a photo frame. I don't know if you can hang it up on the wall, which means the figure would be attached to the base with a magnet. There was a Hatsune Miku figure which was like that in the past by Good Smile, was it? Max Factory or Good Smile, the World is Mine version. So if this is a resin figure magnetically stuck to the base and then you can hang it up, that would be nice. But if the thing falls, then yeah, God bless you. Moving on to the next one, wow, from Meat Studio, Maiden, Sword Maiden from Goblin Slayer. Even just by looking at the rear view, you can already imagine what this is. So I'll save you the details. You can go and check out the pictures yourself, right? $388. There are two versions over here. Regular version and pregnant version. Of course, you get the pregnant version, right? $388 because this is 1x4 scale. So this is going to look majestic AF when you display it. Moving on to the next one. This is the Dark Horse of the Week. I did not expect a third party to make a figure of Mao Mao from the Apothecary Diaries. This is by Pink Soul Studio, which I don't really know much about. And yep, that backside is a problem over there. I'm sure YouTube does not like it, even though this is technically safe for work figure. Unless you are from a very conservative family, then that is a different story, isn't it? So the one thing I want to address over here is, yes, her face, right, which is very blushed, and I'm not sure if I like that. Her face is fairly accurate. It does look like Mao Mao when she is wearing her makeup, But I feel like there's a bit way too much blush. But when you consider the fact that she loved drinking, and if we were to assume that she is drunk from drinking too much liquor, then it makes sense that her face is so flushed, right? So this is not exactly an inaccurate face. This is not a bad sculpt. It does look like her, just that subjectively speaking, I'm not sure if I like her face having so much blush. It makes her look vulnerable, and some men, they love women who look vulnerable, right? I mean, I admit that myself, but at the same time, Mao Mao is the kind of character who can really stand up for herself. She is like, how do I even describe this, man? She is like an excellent female lead character in a way. Compared to all of the SJW or woke nonsense we see from Western media, Western animation as well nowadays, the way they depict strong women, and then they make the female characters very manly, very masculine, and so on, sometimes even outright violent. They did not have to resort to that to make Mao Mao a very strong female character. This is how you do a strong female character, right? So Mao Mao is a character that I like a lot. And I'm left debating myself whether I like the face over here. But putting that aside, this is an excellent figure of her. And if money is no object, yes, I want one. Right? This is unique. $233 at 1/7 scale, releasing in September. Yup, that is a bit pricey for a 1/7, but the base is quite something over there. It is not a simple base. This is almost a diorama base, in fact. And who doesn't like that big, slappable oshiri? Yeah, a bit of fan service over there. I would even go as far to say that this is one of my favorite third-party figures this week. Right, moving on to the next one here. This is by SC Studio, Hatsune Miku, Racing Girl, $233 at 1/7, releasing in December. Yep, a bit pricey for 1/7, but this is castable, both top and bottom. Yeah, you get to see the important parts. Once again, they keep inflating the opie size of characters that have a slender body, just because there are some people out there who want figures like this, right? I kind of understand the logic behind it, but I don't like it. Right, next up we have, okay, we are now entering game character section. So this is an update from last week. This E from Stellar Blade in Cheongsam now has a price. Last week we did not have a price. So she's going for $422, which is below the price I predicted. I predicted 500, I think. So $422 is nice, and there are two versions, with or without glasses. You can only choose either one from the looks of it. Of course, I would take the one without glasses because it looks a bit more like her. Simple as that. Okay, moving on to the next one, Ada Wong action figure by Peach Toys Studio. $168 at 1/6 scale. September release, and she is wearing face mask as a swimsuit. Yeah, I can't show much. I don't want to scroll through the pictures. You can go through them yourself. But her swimsuit is basically two pieces of blue color medical face mask on. Very funny. Face is okay. It has some resemblance to Ada Wong, but I've seen better figures of her, like way better. Moving up next, Pira and Mitra again getting an upsize on their backside and front side as well on the opie, because once again, the Chinese figure collectors over in China, they love stuff like this. They love big opie, right? So they do stuff like this, even though it is inaccurate compared to the actual game character. Just that I did not expect a brand like Alice 21 Studio to do something like this. Yeah, they have a pretty good track record, but they don't really, change much when it comes to modifying the body shape of an existing anime or game character, but they decided to do that for this pair of figures over here. For Pyra, she looks pretty good, but for Mitra, right, it feels like, I wouldn't say inaccurate compared to the actual character, but more like a different art style, a different artist with his or her own take on the character, so she looks different, but not in a bad way. Yeah, so this is something either you like or you don't. Next up over here, we have two FGO figures over here, and for some reason, the moment I saw this picture, I feel like I'm looking at a recast. Naturally, I don't have any proof to back it up, but it feels like looking at one, because many genuine GKs from Japan, right? When you look at the character design and the way they sculpt it, the way they paint it, there is this signature look that is pretty difficult to describe. It is like when you look at it, you know that there is something legit. And then when the third parties do it, they can't replicate the same look as the genuine GKs. So this one looks like a genuine figure, yet it is not. So I'm inclined to suspect it is a recast. So this one is 1/6 scale. Black version, the one you're seeing on screen, is $187. There is a white version, $187. White China dress, and there is a set both for $328. Okay, so between the two, I like the black one a bit more because of her smile. Yeah. Moving up next, Pepeho Studio, Jen Diak and Jen Alter as well. I want a closer look of her face. Alright, this is good. Okay, it looks pretty nice. Once again, different artist, different art style, but it looks nice. I have no problems with it. I love details like this, man. Ho ho. Oh, that is my kind of thing. Details, armor, and Jen Diak. I like the Alter version more. Yeah, this one they don't have much pictures yet. And the problem with this pose where she is kneeling on the ground from the looks of it. Yeah, her face is looking down, so you don't get to enjoy looking at her face that much. This kind of figure, you need to display it higher, above your eye level. So I don't like this kind of pose. Jen Alter looks way nicer. So the price over here... Oh, you can buy the white mold, I see. $296, ouch. Okay, painted version, $296. Why is the price the same? I think there is a pricing error over here. The unpainted version shouldn't cost $300 because the painted one is $300. And then Jen Diak Alter painted version, $296. Okay. If I had to choose, I'll take only Jen Alter for $300. This is 1/6 scale. Releasing in September. Next up here, wow, from New Age Studio, we have Laoma from Genshin Impact. And fun fact, Laoma in Chinese means old mom or your mom. And that is one nice backside that I couldn't put on screen. $151 only, releasing in June. And even in the Hadaka pics over here, I couldn't tell if there is a pink color slit in between. So I don't know, man. If you can cast this off in the sense that, yeah, the important parts are visible. I'm not sure, but even without that, this is pretty pretty attractive already. The face looks good though. Moving up next, we are now looking at a few Blue Archive figures. So you should check out all of the Blue Archive figures on pre-order this week right up here. There are a few good ones. This is just the first one, and this figure went viral on my Facebook when I posted it, right? Because she looks amazing. So this Sorasaki Hina by SJ Studio, $215. Two version, black or white stocking, but white stocking here looks nice. The face is perfect. There is not a single thing I would change on this figure, and I would even go as far to say that I really wish that a genuine figure brand, Max Factory, please make a figure of this same exact thing over here. If this is not a recast, if this is an actual third-party figure by an artist working for a third-party figure brand, then buy the license. If this is a recast, where it might be because this looks way too good, then same thing, buy the license from the sculptor. Please, anyone, Max Factory, Alter. This looks way too good. It is wasted on a third-party resin figure. No disrespect to any third-party resin figure collectors, but I just want to support, right? I want to support licensed stuff whenever I can. So if this gets made into a licensed PVC figure, I'm guaranteed to buy it. I want it so badly. But for those of us with patience issues, we couldn't wait, then this is a very good pre-order. And one more thing, this is a 1/6 scale, so there is still a good reason to get it. If a genuine brand does it, it would be 1/7 mostly. Moving on to the next one here, this is a recast, I'm quite sure. Right, a recast, technically a bootleg, but at the same time, some recast figure brands, they do an excellent work with replicating the original. So this is from ACGN Studio. They have a long track record of recasting genuine GK figures. Professor Nia from Blue Archive, $251, releasing in September. That is pretty pricey for a recast figure. Though the face is very nice. After all, the sculpt came from someone legit in Japan, right? Yeah, what a waste once again. This is something that should be adapted into a genuine figure, just like Hina earlier. Next up over here, wow. From Crown Studio, we have Asuna and Karin Blue Archive, $215. Oh, I love that Ahegao face Asuna has over here. $215 each, but unfortunately, oh no, you can cast it off for the top portion. For the bottom portion, I'm not sure, but based on the translucent parts she's wearing, I think you can see a pink color slit down there. So good news, I suppose. And $215 is not too bad at all. Just that I think Asuna's opai is a tad bit too big. Yeah, she has a big chest, but this is still a tad bit too big. It is like they upsized it further. Moving on to the next one here, another Asuna figure, but in, being tied up, I see. By Ziye Studio, $187 releasing in December next year. Looks like her, but not as good looking as the one before, isn't it? Yeah. And this one, you couldn't cast it off. This is all you get. $187. Moving up next, another good one over here, Blue Archive Tendo Ariso by Lolicool Studio. So the only thing you need to know about this brand, their Blue Archive figures are extremely popular. They sell out. Yep, pre-order sell out sometimes, or they sell out after release and the value goes up, right? They had a few cheap Blue Archive figures with a good amount of fan service going for $110 to $130. Those are very popular. This one here, a lot more expensive, but I don't think anything would change about the popularity. It will still sell out later on. So if you want it, pre-order it early. The face looks very good as well. Next up, okay, another one here from Blue Archive. Asuma Toki from Pure Crush Studio, $235, releasing in June. 1/6 scale. Is this a recast? The art style reminds me of, those Japanese GKs. Very nice. Different art style. The face is slightly different, but looks like her. Oh. The shading is insane, right? The paints work. I mean, the blue color, the hair, the skin, everything. Very heavy shading all over the figure. But if there is one complaint I have, the skin. There is too much pink. They really need to cut down on the amount of pink color they are using on the skin over here. It looks like she's having sunburn. Next up, we have 3D Printing Studio, Vikala from Grand Blue Fantasy. Once again, this looks like something that is recasted, right? Not to mention, it is 1/7 scale. But if it is a recast, why $352? This is overpriced. No release date yet. Grand Blue Fantasy does need more figures. There are not many figures for this game over here. The next one, we have Azur by Moss Studio. This is York. $233 releasing in September. Okay, just a swimsuit figure. At least the base is something, you know. This is the one thing I like about the third parties. Even simpler figures like this, they give the base there some detail, some additional items. You know, when I reviewed my Kosaka Wakamo from Good Smile, the swimsuit one recently, 27,000 yen, and then the base is like just plastic sand. And then I said that I wanted something a bit more. Not expecting a full-blown diorama, but I wanted something a bit more. And I think this figure over here is giving us a good example of what I meant, right? So, still the surface of a beach, but there are a few items on the floor. Something like that, yeah, just to give context to the figure. Moving on to the next one, we have Noshiro from Azur by SJ Studio, $197, releasing in September. The face on this is so good. Oh, this is beautiful. Reminds me of the casual outfit figures by Good Smile. This is one excellent week for third-party figures. And the last one here, this figure also went viral on my Facebook. Miyin Studio Chisa from Wuthering Waves, $233. Looks exceptional, releasing in September 2026. So we don't have many pictures over here, but this one single picture alone, there are a lot of things to be enjoyed. I wish that there is a tad bit more shading. I mean, the sculpt looks great, the face is perfect, but if you look closely, you can kind of tell that, you know, her uniform, the blue uniform, can make do with a bit more shading. The same thing can be said for hair. But this is already a good looking figure, just that I want a bit more. Yeah. So this is an excellent week for third parties and genuine figures alike. And that is all for figures on pre-order this week. Which figure are you interested in this week that you will pre-order on day one, or you will wait until after release before buying? Let me know down in the comments below. As usual, thanks a lot for watching, and if you enjoyed it, please do give this video a like and subscribe to this channel for more anime figure content. Until then, I'll see you soon. Goodbye.